And Masada, despite his that incredible rough upbringing out there in the wilds of Waco, holding Caprice Coleman with a bit of respect, as well as he should. Caprice Coleman, for my money, perhaps the most talented wrestler in Wildside.
He's definitely a guy that's been around the block here in NWA Wildside. He's faced all challengers, defeated all of the best. Caprice Coleman, shoulder tackle there by Masada. Lateral press, not even a one there. Sweep of the leg, going for the quick pins here. Both men trying to surprise his opponent.
Also returning to Wildside, Andrew Thomas, the referee. Never get enough of Andrew. Note the subtext.
Masada trying to lure Caprice Coleman into his domain here. Collar and elbow. Coleman showing he's no slouch when it comes to pure wrestling with a nice fireman's carry there. Gets him in a pinning predicament, crucifix rollover. Coleman's on him with an amateur ride there in a waist lock. Roll through into another pinning combination, single leg grapevine.
It's funny, based on Masada's demeanor, he seldom finds himself in such collegiate and amateur wrestling predicaments such as this. A quick roll-up from Coleman, but just as quickly, Masada able to roll a shoulder.
Coleman likes an abdominal stretch from a sitting position. And normally, at least when that maneuver is applied, the opponent is in a vertical base. With Masada on the ground, you have to think that the pressure is that much more painful, but he does manage to get out and stomp Coleman in the face in the process.
Yeah, you got to be adaptable based on how your opponent is laying. Your opponent's not going to be laying very long. You have to go for the gold.
Northern Lights suplex with a bridge roll through by Masada. Looks like he may be going for a repeater there. Caprice Coleman saw the telegraph there and is making his offensive effort there with a Northern Lights of his own and a roll through. And a second there. Coleman does hit the second. Almost a game of one-upsmanship. Coleman charges hard, clothesline.
Two equally charged athletes going at this match and in two entirely different methods. In more traditional pro wrestling circumstances, that can also be certain death for a quality wrestling match. But with these two athletes here, despite the varied backgrounds and the varied different attacks of pro wrestling, we're getting quite an incredible wrestling action here this evening here on Wildside.
It's very physical thus far, and both men have shown quite a bit of respect in the ring. We've seen a lot of cheap shots. It's been all straight up wrestling right down the middle. Can't say that it'll go on the entire match because both men are known for their tempers and their outrageous personalities. Masada there with a side headlock takeover. Thus far, it is pure technical wrestling, and you're seeing it done very well.
Doing spectacular moves on a fresh Masada is not going to be the key to defeating the psychotic Branch Davidian from Waco.
Masada with the pinning combination, but a bridge out there. And Coleman going for the backslide, but Masada answered that with two elbows. Goes for the Nage Sateru leg scissors, successful in rolling him up into a Mexican cradle. 2 count. Coleman with a kick to the midsection and the spin scissors kick. A Coleman favorite for many years, and you see why, very effective. Nice leg drop. Tremendous form on that, and you see the technique and how it came right across the Adam's apple. It's a chicken wing face lock now. It's Caprice Coleman in control of the momentum.
Caprice Coleman realizes pinning Masada this early in the match is not likely going to be. All you're going to have to be able to do is try to soften the man up. And an opportunity like that looks like Masada able to grab the leg of Caprice Coleman. Just like that, the situation changes. And a second later, it changes again.
And now Caprice Coleman tries to jump through the legs of Masada to no avail. And Masada, with those spinal tap, kicks to the back.
Well, a trio kicks to the kidneys. Can't help the Iceman much.
Masada straight up boot to the face, billowing Coleman into the corner.
And Masada now developing into fisticuffs.
And really opening up. Masada's not afraid to get it done any way that he has to. Whoa! Caprice Coleman springboards from the top rope there with a beautiful 180 clothesline.
Particularly after knocking Masada's jaw out of line. Coleman on top of the pin. And Masada is able to barely get his shoulder up in time. But Masada has clearly been weakened by the attack of Caprice Coleman.
Caprice Coleman with a shining wizard. Right out of nowhere, and that is enough to knock you out. But did it knock Masada out? Caprice Coleman is going to lock him in that side crossface. It's almost a Cobra Clutch crossface combination. Masada is in the ropes and breaks that combination.
Tough break for Coleman, as that combination of moves really did a number on Masada. Masada is still rocking from the onslaught of the Iceman, Caprice Coleman.
Masada with a waistlock there, Coleman. This has been one tooth and nail battle. Masada with back elbows there. Oh, with the enziguri. And now both men have connected with maneuvers of that type. Let's see how well Masada's was. As I said before, it was a lot of a game of one-upsmanship early, and I believe we're still seeing that.
Yes, but how much steam do these guys have at this stage in the game?
Masada going to the top.
Unfortunately, turning your back on your opponent when your opponent is Caprice Coleman, bad move.
Apparently he had a lot more faith that Coleman was out, but the cold snap from the top rope may be the end of Masada, and do Thomas counts. Barely, but Masada does kick out.
A very fatigued Masada, perhaps ripe for the pitting. Check that. Masada getting a little more life in those lungs.
And the Masada miser. There's the Masada miser. Put many men away. But the damage that Masada has sustained is preventing the pinfall.
Not to mention, Coleman was able to roll away from Masada. Masada, though, on top of Coleman, Coleman able to kick out. So much time had elapsed between the sodomizer and the pin. That was just the break that Coleman needed.
Now Masada has to be a little frustrated, but Coleman picks him up with a double leg and sends him hard into the far turnbuckle. He's really got Masada rocking now. Oh no, if he hits the comatoser, that's gonna be all.
That would have to be it for Masada, and it in fact is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match, Caprice Ice Coleman.
Tremendously hard-fought contest by two very fine athletes.